Hello, everybody. Welcome to our spooky story time, which is our virtual activity for today. I'm here with my pumpkin friend and a few other friends from Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we're going to go ahead and follow along and listen to our spooky story for the day.
The Old Haunted House by Helen Kettman, illustrated by Nate Ragg. At the old haunted house, in a room with no sun, lived a warty green witch and her wee witchy one. "Spell!" cried the witch. "Poof!" cried the one, and they both practiced spells in the room with no sun. At the old haunted house, where a cold draft blew, lived a big ma monster and her wee monsters too. "Stir!" called the ma. "We stir!" cried the two, and they whirred and they stirred while the cold draft blew. By the old haunted house, in the dead hollow tree, lived a scrawny black cat and her wee kittens three. "Scratch!" cried the mother. "Meow!" cried the three, and they scratched and they growled in the dead hollow tree. At the old haunted house with the squeaky old floor lived a green paw goblin and his wee goblins four. "Dust!" called the paw. "We dust!" said the four, and they spread lots of dust on the squeaky old floor. At the old haunted house where scary things jive, lived a ma werewolf and her wee wolfies five. "How!" cried the ma. "Aroo!" wailed the five, and they yowled and they howled where scary things jive. In the old haunted house, in a vault made of bricks, lived a papa vampire and his little vamps six. "Show fangs!" papa cried. "Hiss!" went the six, and they snarled and they shrieked in the vault made of bricks. At the old haunted house, teaching a lesson, was a hairy mom bat and her bitty bats seven. "Dip, dive!" cried the mom. "Flip, flap!" went the seven, and they dipped and they dove in their dip diving lesson. By the old haunted house, near the graveyard gate, lived a spooky dad ghost and his wee ghosties eight. "Haunt!" cried the dad. "Boo!" cried the eight, and they booed and they floated through the graveyard gate. At the old haunted house, half covered with vines, lived a mummy, mommy, and her wee mummies 9. Mix, called the mommy. We mix, called the 9. And they stirred and they mixed in the house with the vines. At the old haunted house, in the dusty old den, lived a fat ma spider and her wee spiders 10. Spin, called the ma. Weave ho, said the 10. And they spun sticky webs in the dusty old den. At the old haunted house, the front door creaked. Trick or treat, yelled the children. The ghost shrieked, eek! Come in, called Ma Mummy. The monsters made stew. The mummies made cake. The witches zapped brew. The creatures all grinned as they struck up the band, and the spiders all swung on sticky web strands. The ghosties floated as the music played. Black cats scratched and werewolves bayed. The vampire band played music all night, and they all had fun at the Halloween fright. The end.
It was a great story for our elementary age kids, but 2 other spooky stories you can look for, or authors you can look for, would be RL Stine of the Goosebumps series, which is great for young readers, and especially for Halloween time. Alvin Schwartz has a collection called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they're very spooky.